Hi guys, I'm back. This is me, Kirill, your Justice analyst from Belarus living in Germany, and today I'm continuing my reviews of the entries for the Junior Eurovision Song Contest 2024. And today we are talking about the country which was absent from the Junior Eurovision Song Contest for almost 10 years, and this is San Marino. So San Marino took part only 3 times before in 2013, 14 and 15. Their best result was the 10th place in 2013 edition. Unfortunately, it was still 10th place out of 12 entries, so not a very high result, but I think it was quite a memorable, nice entry. And Michele Perniola, the artist, even went to represent San Marino at the Adult Eurovision 3 years later, which unfortunately ended up in the last place in the semi-final.
If we all walk together, we will feel the love inside. It's a train of hearts for you, train of hearts for you.
And an honor of representing San Marino has been given to 4 girls who are all aged 11 to 12, and together they're called Idols SM, where SM is of course standing for San Marino, and their song is titled Come Noi, and let's just take a look at the translation of the lyrics. And actually, Come Noi means like us. If we look through the lyrics of the song, it's really hard to understand what it is exactly telling about before you see this phrase. TV shows, TikTok lives, I still don't know if he will call me or not. So it really gives me a feeling that this is a story of a girl telling us about her feelings to a boy, and she really thinks that no one in the world is like them because they are just perfectly made for each other. She thinks not even time touches them, and she knows that they will never change. For me, if I'm analyzing this text, it feels a little bit like a sad story because the girl kind of believes in this, but it's not really working yet, or at least she's maybe still scared to tell him about her feelings. So now I'm not really so sure if it will be a very up-tempo track or maybe something in between. It still doesn't really sound for me like a text for a ballad, because still the sadness is basically in only one phrase. So I'm really curious to hear how it sounds like. So let's go for my first listen of the song, Come Noi. I will not stop the song, I will just sit through the whole one, giving you my small remarks in between, and then we will go for the second listen where we will look more detailed into the song. What an epic beginning. It sounds like all 4 of them are singing like the same. So it's building up into something, maybe dancey chorus or so. Okay. So it's a kind of a mid-tempo ballad or so, not sure. It's visual effects. And this really doesn't work for me that they're not singing some parts individually, but only together. Okay, so now the second higher voice also tunes in. Oh, I love this part with guitar, sounds cool. There was no big explosion, but still this chorus is kind of a guilty pleasure, quite catchy. This last chorus really sounds exactly like the second chorus. Okay, well, the song is over. So what can I say about the Sammarinese entry? It definitely gives me a bit of a vibe of some previous Sammarinese entries for Adult Eurovision and Junior Eurovision. because I think San Marino is kind of the only country which is sending this a little bit depressive songs, melancholic songs with this kind of powerful chorus. So I think the song of Mi Odio and the song of Camila were actually quite good, but they didn't rank so well. Mi Odio even finished last in the semifinal of the Eurovision Song Contest 2008. So it doesn't really give me high hope for Idols SM this year, because for me it feels like a type of a song which would take part in some Latvian pre-selection or Icelandic pre-selection or Lithuanian pre-selection. Probably some Eurovision fans will be like, oh wow, this sounds really, really cool and different. And then it still doesn't even make it to the final of the national selection. They could have built up on this song much more, but they still, of course, have a lot of time before the Junior Eurovision to really improve it. But now let's go for the second listen. So let's see if in the second listen I will see some parts which maybe I haven't noticed during the first time. I really like this epic beginning.
Non dormo mai, ho ancora I tuoi vocali sopra il mio display.
This is really not so impressive when, you know, 4 girls in a band are just singing absolutely the same melody. It's not a choir competition. If we even compare them to the one from the Netherlands, there really each of the 4 kids had stage during the song and was shining during the song, and they were only singing the chorus a little bit together. But here, singing the whole song, 4 of them, I'm not really sure that this will be very impressive for the juries. But more important, if one of them will have a bad day, maybe gets a cold or something like this, and then you will hear it throughout the whole song, because the other 3, they will not overpower something what sounds false. Then the whole song will just sound terrible. That's why sometimes in the groups it's better if they sing separately.
Finirà mai, perché nessuno al mondo è come noi.
So the chorus really hits. So the chorus is definitely the strongest part of the song in comparison to some other entries this year, which had great verses and really weak choruses. So this is definitely an asset of the song.
Come dentro ai video degli Stray Kids. Rimani qui.
Yeah, the chorus is really good. The visual effects are, of course, absolutely cheap and terrible in this music video. I really hope they will not try to integrate them into their live performance on stage, otherwise it will have this Poland adult Eurovision vibes.
Just float away. Let me know my things, bury me in my skin. All that.
Vogliamo in alto.
And chorus is actually really easy to remember. This part with uwo, uwo, you kind of want to sing along. So even now while listening to the song for the second time, I feel like I really know the chorus pretty well already. This part with the guitar really starts like the beginning of one of my favorite songs, Need to Know by Anne Hvidsten.
Praying for that time. Camminiamo sopra le stelle, a piedi nudi che è più divertente.
The song will definitely stand out. It definitely doesn't sound like any other song this year, generally just not like a typical Eurovision song. If it will stand out in a good way or not, can't say so far, but for me it's definitely sort of a gem of this year. Yeah, what a guilty pleasure song. I have really enjoyed it. If it's a good choice for Eurovision, not sure. So usually now the part comes when it's time to take a look at the Sammarinese history in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest in the last 7 years. Their last participation was already back in 2015, so they missed it by 2 years to be in my 7 years ranking. But in general, as you know, Sammarinese results in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest were not really so outstanding before. How Idols SM can do, I really can see them finishing higher than like last 3 places. I think the girls will be really, really lucky if they don't finish last. The song is definitely just not something what the juries would rank well. And the online voting support, well, in this case, such small nations like San Marino usually would not score so well. Let's just take a quick look at the Eurovision Scoreboard app to see how Eurovision fans have ranked this song. So as you can see on your screen, San Marino is currently second to last, so only Poland is below San Marino. I'm a little bit surprised because I think Eurovision fans usually like this type of songs, but it just generally shows us that with the online voting, we cannot really expect much support for the Sammarinese entry this year. So now let's talk about staging. I think the best thing this song can profit from if these girls will start to put a focus on their individuality during this performance. Because what is for me really missing is each of the girls having their moment to shine. Maybe at least they should have completely different dresses, that at least this is something what we will really remember. And I really keep my fingers crossed that all 4 of them can really sing good, because as I have said, if one of them sings off key, this will be really easily noticeable. So we should definitely try to avoid that. If we talk about how it exactly should look on stage, I think it will be just, of course, 4 of them. We don't really need any further backing vocalists or dancers. The performance, I hope, will be quite dark. I really hope they will avoid any bright colors. They should definitely set focus on this dark, mysterious theme, maybe trying to play with some space background, some very creative camera angles and so on. Staging is definitely something what could help the song in order to avoid the last place. So that's what I have thought about Sammarinese entry for the Junior Eurovision this year. I was actually really positively surprised that they have really brought something quite special. I'm not really sure that this is a special what juries or online voting would appreciate, but at least it's special. I really appreciate this effort, and I hope that San Marino will stay with us for the future in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. I'm really curious to hear your opinions. Please share them in the comments below and subscribe to my channel if you still haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.